Hey there, I'm Ayesha, and if you're watching this, I guess you want to know how it all went down. I'm sitting here in my small apartment, the kind with creaky wooden floors, and a window that overlooks the city's glow. It's late. The sky outside is this deep indigo, and the only light in here is from a single lamp casting soft shadows on the walls. There's a cup of chai cooling on the table next to me, steam curling up like it's carrying my thoughts. I've been holding this story in for a while, and it's heavy, but I need to tell it. Every moment, every hurt, every step I took to make things right. So, let's go back to where it started, to the life I thought I had with him. His name was Bilal. We met 4 years ago at a friend's wedding in the heart of Lahore, where the summer air was thick with jasmine and the sound of laughter. I was 28, working as a freelance journalist, hustling to make a name for myself. The wedding was all fairy lights and music, the kind of night where everything feels possible. I was standing by the dessert table, probably sneaking an extra gulab jamun, when Bilal walked up. He was charming, with this easy laugh and eyes that seemed to see right through you. He worked in real estate, had big dreams of building a property empire. We talked all night about our families, our ambitions, the way the city lights looked like stars from the rooftop. By the end of it, he had my number, and I had this flutter in my chest I hadn't felt in years. We fell hard and fast. Dates turned into late-night drives through the city, the streets alive with honking rickshaws and neon signs. We'd park by the canal, sharing spicy chat from street vendors, laughing until our sides hurt. He'd tell me stories of his childhood in Karachi, how he'd always wanted to prove himself. I opened up too, about my dreams of writing stories that mattered, about my mom who raised me alone after my dad passed. Bilal met her, charmed her with his smile and a bouquet of roses. "He's a keeper," she'd said, her eyes twinkling. I believed her. We moved in together after a year, into a cozy flat with a balcony where we'd sit in the evenings. The sunset painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. Life felt full, like we were building something real. For 3 years, it was good, mostly. We had our fights, sure. He'd get stressed about work, snap at me over small things. I'd push back, call him out when he cancelled plans last minute. But we always made up. He'd bring home my favorite biryani, or I'd surprise him with tickets to a cricket match. We'd curl up on the couch, the TV flickering with some old Bollywood movie, and he'd hold me like I was his anchor. "You're my everything, Ayesha," he'd say, his voice soft in the dark. I believed him. We talked about marriage, about a house with a garden for kids someday. I'd lie awake at night, the fan whirring above, imagining our future. But then things changed. It was subtle at first, like a crack in a wall you don't notice until it's too wide to ignore. It started last summer, when the city was suffocating under the heat. Bilal got distant. He'd come home late, his phone always buzzing with texts. He'd angle away from me. "Just work," he'd mutter, but his eyes wouldn't meet mine. I'd find receipts for places we hadn't been, fancy cafes, hotels. I asked him about it one night, standing in our kitchen, the air heavy with the smell of rain drifting in. "Are you seeing someone else?" I asked, my voice shaking. He laughed it off, called me paranoid, but there was this edge to his voice. That night, I couldn't sleep, the humidity clinging to my skin, my mind racing. Then the lies started. I'd overhear him on the phone, laughing with someone, his tone too familiar. I checked his social media. Stupid, I know, and saw comments from some woman, Zara, all flirty emojis and inside jokes. When I confronted him, he got defensive, said she was just a client. But the fights got worse. One evening, after he'd cancelled another dinner with my mom, I lost it. The apartment was dark, just the glow of streetlights spilling in. "What's going on, Bilal? Tell me the truth," I shouted. He just stared at me, cold, and said, "Maybe you're the problem, Ayesha. Maybe you're too much." Those words cut deeper than I can explain. I stood there, frozen, as he grabbed his keys and left. A week later, he moved out, said he needed space. I was a wreck, crying on the bathroom floor, the tiles cold against my skin. The apartment felt empty without his stuff, without his laugh. I kept texting, calling, begging for answers, but he was gone. Ghosted, just like that. Then the rumors started. I'd get messages from mutual friends, asking why I'd cheated on him, why I'd lied about him to his boss. I was confused, then furious. Bilal was out there, telling people I was the bad guy, spreading lies that I'd been unfaithful, that I'd tried to sabotage his career. My phone buzzed with texts from his friends, calling me names I won't repeat. Even my mom got a call from someone saying I'd ruined Bilal's life. I remember sitting on my balcony one night, the city below humming with life, but I felt so alone. The air was thick with monsoon rain, the kind that drenches everything. I scrolled through my phone, tears blurring the screen, seeing his posts, him at parties, smiling with Zara, living like I'd never existed. The lies spread like wildfire. A colleague at the newspaper I freelanced for asked if it was true I'd stolen money from Bilal. My reputation, my work, everything I'd built, it was crumbling because of him. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. I'd stare out at the city lights, my heart pounding with this mix of hurt and rage. How could he do this? After everything? The anger took root, deep and hot. I was done crying. I sat at my desk one evening, the rain tapping the window, a single bulb casting a harsh light over my laptop. I started digging. Bilal wasn't as smart as he thought. He'd left behind an old USB drive in our flat, full of files, contracts, emails, bank statements. I found proof he'd been dodging taxes on his real estate deals, skimming profits, even bribing a local official for permits. Nothing outright illegal enough to jail him, but shady enough to cause trouble. He'd always bragged about his connections, how he could bend the rules. Now, those rules were my weapon. I didn't want to just lash out. No, I wanted him to feel what I felt. Exposed, powerless. I started small, anonymous tips to the tax authorities, just enough to trigger an audit. I emailed his clients, pretending to be a concerned insider, hinting at his shady practices. I even contacted a local journalist I knew, shared some of those files without linking them to me. The story was too juicy to ignore. Corrupt real estate deals in a city already fed up with them. I'd sit in my apartment, the fan humming, watching the chaos unfold online. His posts got defensive, vague rants about haters. Zara stopped appearing in his photos. His world was cracking, and I was just getting started, but it wasn't enough. He'd lied about me, turned people against me. I needed to clear my name. I started gathering proof, screenshots of our texts, showing how he'd lied about me cheating, emails proving I'd never touched his money. I sent them to our mutual friends, to my colleagues, even to his sister, who'd always liked me. I didn't say much, just let the truth speak. Slowly, people started apologizing, saying they'd been misled. The tide was turning, but I wasn't done. Bilal had one big project, a luxury apartment complex he'd sunk everything into. I knew it was built on lies, rushed permits, and cut corners. I made a call to the city's building authority, anonymous again, and tipped them off. Inspections followed. Fines piled up. I remember the night I got a text from him, months after he'd left. I was in my living room, the air cool after a storm, the smell of wet earth drifting in. "Ayesha, we need to talk," it said. My heart raced, but not with love, with fire. He was feeling the pressure, and I was ready to face him. I agreed to meet, a public park in the evening, where the streetlights cast long shadows, and the air was heavy with the scent of damp grass. I was ready to see the man who'd tried to destroy me, and I was ready to show him I wasn't broken. So, there I was, standing in that park, The evening air cool and heavy with the scent of wet grass and blooming jasmine. The streetlights flickered on, casting long jagged shadows across the path. My heart was pounding, but not with fear, with this strange mix of resolve and something heavier, like the weight of everything I'd been through. Bilal was waiting by a bench, hands in his pockets, looking smaller than I remembered. The man who'd once filled every room with his charm now seemed deflated. I'm Ayesha, and this is how I took back my life, how I made sure he'd never forget what he did to me. I walked up, my sneakers crunching on the gravel, the city's hum faint in the distance. He turned, and I saw his face in the dim light, tired eyes, stubble, a nervous twitch in his jaw. "Ayesha," he said, his voice softer than I expected. "Thanks for coming." I didn't smile, didn't nod. I just stood there, arms crossed, letting the silence press down on him. The park was quiet, just the rustle of leaves and the occasional chirp of crickets. "What do you want, Bilal?" I asked, my voice steady, though inside I was a storm. He shifted, looking at the ground, then back at me. "I messed up," he said. "I know I hurt you. The lies, the rumors. I was stupid. I'm sorry." His words hung in the air, thin and brittle. I could have laughed, but it wasn't funny. Sorry? After he'd spread lies that I'd cheated, that I'd stolen from him, after he'd turned friends against me, made my colleagues question my integrity. I felt the anger flare, hot and sharp, but I kept it locked down. I'd learned to be patient, to play the long game. "You didn't just hurt me," I said, stepping closer, my voice low but firm. "You tried to destroy me. You told people I was a liar, a cheat. You made my life hell while you moved on with her, with your perfect little lies." His eyes widened, like he hadn't expected me to know so much. The air felt heavier now, the dampness clinging to my skin. "I didn't mean for it to go that far," he stammered. I was angry. I was lost. "Zara and I, it's over now. Everything's falling apart." I almost felt sorry for him. Almost. But then I remembered the nights I'd spent crying, the way my mum looked at me with worry, the way my career took a hit because of his lies. I remembered scrolling through his posts, seeing him laugh while I was breaking. "Falling apart," I said, my voice sharp now. "Good. You built your life on lies, Bilal. Did you think they wouldn't catch up?" He flinched and I saw it. The realization that I wasn't just a victim anymore. I was the one pulling the strings. He didn't know the half of it. Those anonymous tips I'd sent to the tax authorities, they'd triggered an audit that was tearing through his finances. His clients were dropping him, spooked by the rumors of shady deals I'd carefully planted. That journalist I'd tipped off had run a story, not naming him directly, but dropping enough hints to make people talk. And his big apartment complex. The city inspectors had found violations, faulty wiring, unpermitted changes. The fines were crushing him, and the project was stalled, bleeding money. I'd watched it all unfold from my apartment, the glow of my laptop screen, lighting my face as I sipped chai, feeling a quiet satisfaction with every new post about his bad luck. I leaned against the bench, the wood cold under my hands, and looked him in the eye. "You spread lies about me, Bilal. You made people think I was the problem. But I know who you are. I know about the bribes, the tax games, the corners you cut." His face went pale, his mouth opening like he wanted to argue, but couldn't find the words. "What did you do?" he whispered, his voice cracking. I didn't answer right away. I let the question hang, let him feel the weight of it, like I'd felt the weight of his betrayal. "I didn't do anything you didn't start," I said finally. "You thought you could erase me, rewrite my story, but I rewrote yours." My voice was calm, but inside, my heart was racing. I'd spent months planning this, not with violence or drama, but with precision. I'd sent those files to the right people, made sure his lies caught up to him. I'd reached out to our mutual friends, showed them the truth, texts, emails, proof he'd lied about me. Slowly, they'd started to see him for what he was. His sister even called me, apologizing, saying she was ashamed of him. The tide had turned, and I was standing taller because of it. He sank onto the bench, head in his hands. "I'm losing everything," he said, his voice muffled. "My business, my reputation. I didn't mean to hurt you like this." I stood there, the night air cool against my face, and felt that mix of emotions again. Anger, but also a strange kind of pity. He wasn't the man I'd loved anymore. He was just broken, but I wasn't here to fix him. "You did this to yourself," I said. "You chose to lie, to cheat, to hurt me. Now you're living with it." I turned to walk away, the gravel crunching under my feet, the city lights blurring in the distance. The weeks after that were like coming up for air. I kept tabs, of course. I couldn't help it. His social media went quiet. No more flashy posts about his empire. The apartment complex was foreclosed on. I saw the notice online, a stark listing with a price slashed to nothing. His name started fading from the circles we'd shared. Friends reached out, apologizing for believing him, inviting me back into their lives. My work picked up too. I landed a big feature in a national paper, a story I'd poured my heart into. I'd sit on my balcony at night, the city below alive with lights, and feel free. The rain would fall sometimes, soft and steady, washing away the last of the hurt. I started healing, piece by piece. I redecorated my apartment, bright curtains, a new rug, pictures of my mum and me smiling. I'd light candles in the evening, their glow warm and steady, and write in my journal, letting the words spill out. I went out with friends, laughed until my sides hurt, even started dating again. Nothing serious, but it felt good to be seen, to be myself again. One night, as the moon hung low over the city, I realized I wasn't angry anymore. Not at Bilal, not at myself. I'd taken back my story, my truth. Looking back, I don't regret what I did. Maybe that sounds harsh, but it's honest. He tried to break me, to rewrite who I was. I didn't let him. I didn't break the law, didn't hurt anyone. Just shone a light on the truth he'd tried to hide. Justice? Maybe, or just balance. I'm sitting here now, the lamp casting soft light, the city humming outside my window. Life's not perfect, but it's mine again. And Bilal? He's out there, picking up his pieces. I hope he learned something from it. I know I did.